Good evening. Right, okay, so this week we are thinking about easy ways just to create more harmony in the home, just to kind of have a happier home, just in some nice easy steps. And yesterday we were having a think about how to kind of look after yourself, how to put, we were thinking about resilience really, and how to put some healthy habits in place for you in terms of rest and exercise, so that you are able to rationalize properly and not be stressed and stroppy, basically, which I think we can all relate to, let's be honest. And today I'm thinking about boundaries and consistency. And I've put those two together because they go naturally together, I think, in my opinion. Boundaries and consistency. And I'm going to start with consistency, because consistency is kind of key. And it's funny because doing this series has really made me think back to my very early social work days. I think I spoke about it yesterday. And I was thinking about, you know, those parenting groups that I used to run, and how, you know, consistency is so important, and yet it's something that we all fall down on. Because I was talking yesterday about resilience and how we, you know, how we have good days and bad days. And sometimes when we're having a good day, things are going really well. And when we're having a bad day, we are a lot more snappy. Our fuse is a lot shorter. We are a lot more reactive when we are tired and stressed. And so when we're thinking about consistency, we can think about that on both ends of that spectrum, in terms of, and this isn't just with children, right? We do this in all of our relationships. I mean, everything that I teach in terms of parenting applies across all of our relationships. So when we are in a good mood, when we are happy, when we are tired, when we are feeling lazy, when we're being complacent, whatever the word you want to put in there, we let things slide. We let things slide. We just let it go, either because we don't care, because we're in a good mood, or because we're too tired and we can't be bothered, right? And then when we are irritable and we are tired and we are stroppy, we don't let anything slide. In fact, far be it, we're right at the other end. Stuff that would normally be okay suddenly doesn't become okay. Suddenly, on those days, things that are normally just kind of like normal behaviour for our kids to do become irritating, or they're taking the piss because they're doing it too much, right? And so what happens then is that we've got a real inconsistency around what our expectations are, but what their understanding of what is okay and what is not okay. And you see there, we've got a huge range. We've got a huge range between us on a let's just do three things just to keep it really simple. Us on a really good day, us on a really tired day or a really premenstrual day, and then us when we are just feeling really lazy and really exhausted. So three big variants there. And then what happens is that we are, because there is no consistency, the rules are just really confused. And why are you getting stroppy about something today when you let me do it yesterday? Why am I able to do this, but I wasn't able to do it yesterday, right? And there becomes a lot of confusion. And actually, really simply, I'm not a regimented person. Like anybody, you've been following my videos, you know I'm a very, very relaxed parent. But it's important to have boundaries where everybody knows where the line is. Okay, you can have flexibility, but actually clear boundaries benefits everyone. It benefits you as a parent, and it benefits them as children, because it's just a really simple way of knowing what we're allowed to do and what we're not allowed to do. When I worked at the children's home, right at the very, very beginning of my career, I used to think that the rules that were in place there were kind of draconian. I was just kind of like, I was only 21, so I was, you know, young, naive, and kind of full of hope. And I used to think, God, these poor kids, like, they've had such a shit life. Why are you being so strict with them? And I very, very, very quickly learnt to realise that the rules were in place, A, to protect them, so that as staff and as parents we are clear about what the rules are and what they're allowed to do to keep them safe, or just to model good behaviour, but actually to keep them safe from each other. Because when children know and understand rules, they also know what is, they know what they need to be doing, but they also know what others are meant to be doing too, right? And when they know what others are meant to be doing, that helps them to keep themselves safe. Now, I know I talked about children's home, and I know we can go left, right and centre with what safe means in terms of that boundary. But actually, in terms of safe, as in just feeling safe, I know what the rules are, and so therefore I know what the rules are. I know what the expectation of you is also. Not just what my rules are, but what your rules are. And so when we have that boundary in place and we have consistency in place, we all know what we're meant to be doing. All right. Like I said, I am flexible. My parenting style doesn't agree with everybody. That's irrelevant. Everybody has their own rules and everybody has their own boundaries, and you can flex those boundaries as you feel fit. But once those boundaries are out the window and there is no consistency, nobody knows what they're meant to be doing. Nobody understands what is okay behaviour and what is not okay behaviour. And you can take that in terms of, you know, I mean, like 2020, like what a year. I still call us like 2020 at the moment, but like what a year this has been, right? And a lot of boundaries have gone out of the window, and yet a lot of boundaries have come into play because we've needed it, because we've been working parents homeschooling children. So we need those boundaries in place. But actually, in terms of what it would be like if there were no boundaries at all, it would be complete chaos. So we've all had to implement boundaries, and we've all had to keep some boundaries, even though some have gone out the window. My boundaries, right? I mean, I was never good at bedtime anyway. I was never good at having a really, I can do a good bedtime routine for a time, but I'm just a bit rubbish at it, to be honest with you. And over the last year, bedtime has been ridiculous. Like, my kids are still up at 10 o'clock at night. Like, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, like, that's just how it is. Now we're going back to school. I've had to work really hard to kind of pull that back, make sure that they're getting up early in the morning. Do they like it? Not particularly, to be honest with you, but they need it and I need it, because come Monday, the alarm's going to be going off at 7:30, and we're all going to be up and out the door at 8:15 to get them to school. Do we want them to be having sweets or, a load of sweet stuff before they go to bed? No, of course we don't, because it's going to give them a sugar rush just as they're meant to be going off to sleep. Are they allowed to hit each other? No, they are absolutely not allowed to hit each other, and actually nobody's allowed to hit each other, right? An absolute. So if anybody hits them, rightly, they will come and tell me or their dad or teacher or whoever else that is not okay. So you put the boundaries wherever you want, like where you feel you need tighter boundaries or looser boundaries is entirely up to you. But the point is that when we are consistent with our boundaries, everybody knows the ballpark they're meant to be in. And when we're not consistent with our boundaries, we are in danger of creating a backlash that might feel unnecessary. if we start changing the rules, and these are the really strict rules today, but these rules don't apply tomorrow because I can't be bothered, then it creates chaos, really. Not like chaos in a like anarchy sense, but like chaos as in they don't know where they stand, and maybe, to be fair, we don't know where we stand either. We can't be angry at them if we are not setting a good example. So if we are, if we're kind of like a little bit flouncy with the rules, flouncy with the boundaries, that's okay. It's up to you. You raise your children however you want. But when they start pushing back and saying, well, hang on a minute, that's not fair. You let me do it yesterday, or you didn't let me do it, you know, last week. We can't be confused that they're confused. Does that make sense? It makes sense in my head. I hope it makes sense to you. Okay, all right, that's it, short and sweet. I hope that was helpful, and I will be back tomorrow with my third tip, which I haven't decided which one I'm going to do yet, so I'll let you know tomorrow. Okay, have a lovely evening, take care, bye bye.